When did you first learn about the stock market, your retirement plan? When did you first learn about the power of saving money? Were you 25, 35, 45 maybe? My name is Amna Iqbal, and I'm interested in all of these subjects because I myself am learning about the importance of financial literacy. Whether it's an hour-long lesson or just a few key points, my dad was always teaching my siblings and I about the value of money a little bit each day. There was a lot to learn from a chief financial officer like him. Today I'm going to be talking about why we should continue educating our kids on the value of money and what might happen if we don't do that. Firstly, I'm going to be introducing financial literacy by talking about its definition. Secondly, I'm going to be talking about a few ways we can implement conversations on money with our youth today. And lastly, I'm going to be sharing some information on student loan debts with a note on the knowledge gap between the youth and elderly in the United States today. Before jumping to the why, let's talk about the what. What is financial literacy? It's the understanding of financial management, investing, and budgeting. It's the key to short-term and long-term financial habits. In 2004, Congress labeled the month of April National Financial Literacy Month. And according to a video by NYU Student Services titled What is Financial Literacy and published on April 1st, 2020, it said that in April, organizations address their communities on the consequences of improper financial education, but we'll get to that a little more later. Martha C. White published an article with Time on January 17, 2013, titled Today's Young Adults Will Never Pay Off Their Credit Card Debts. She cited that 20% of American adults between the ages of 18 and 24 will surpass their income by $100 per month. According to FINRA Investor Education Foundation's paper titled Financial Capability in the United States, published in July of 2022, people with appropriate financial literacy are less likely to take pawn shop loans, make the minimum payment on their credit cards, and receive late fees on financial products. Schools unfortunately don't talk to their students enough about money, so it's up to the parents of those students to educate their kids on the value of money. How do we do that? I'm glad you asked. There are quite a few ways to get kids to start thinking about their money after they hand it to the cashier at a grocery store. I pulled some of these ways from an Investopedia article titled Teaching Financial Literacy, Why to Start from a Young Age by Duncan Hyatt. He said that he mentioned 4 ways we could talk to our kids about money. One way is by explaining what you're doing when buying a share of a stock. Another way is by introducing some career interests and opportunities for your kids. Even though some younger kids might not understand this, there are a few routes to take for them too. We can ask them questions. For example, where do you think our money comes from? Something my dad did with my siblings and I on our long car rides was ask us math questions, and personally I can say that it sparked my interest in math and finance today. For younger kids, we can create games for them to talk about money, anything from reenacting the Tooth Fairy's nightly trips to managing a Pulse restaurant. What would happen if we didn't properly educate our kids on money? One thing that could happen, and one thing that is unfortunately happening in the United States, is a rise in student loan debts. According to an article by Mordecai I. Brownlee, published on January 19, 2021, titled Preventing Student Debt Problems Begins with Financial Literacy Education, it said that since the Great Recession in 2009, there's been a 130% increase in student loan debts. Unfortunately, if we don't properly intervene with this, there's going to be a continuous rise in that number over the upcoming generations. According to an article by Anna Marie Lusardi published on January 24, 2019, there is no necessary correlation between a decent school education and an individual's financial literacy. That just goes to say that, again, it's up to the parents to teach their kids about the value of money. She also said that there is a variation amongst financial comprehension in American adults today. In 2015, the United States National Financial Capability Study asked 1,000 American adults the big 3 questions, which they deemed to be the understanding of inflation, the understanding of risk diversification, and the understanding of interest calculations and compounding. Out of those 1,000 American adults, the participants aged between 18 and 24, 13% of them were able to answer those 3 questions correctly. And out of the participants aged 70 to 74, 51% of them were able to answer the questions correctly. That just goes to reiterate that there's a massive knowledge gap in finance for American adults today. Let's recap. Firstly, we talked about what financial literacy is. Secondly, we introduced some consequences of improper financial education. Thirdly, we talked about how we can talk about money to our youth. And fourthly, we touched upon the difference in financial comprehension in American adults today. Many Americans lack financial literacy simply because they didn't have somebody to teach them when they were younger. It's up to us to raise the future leaders of this country and of this world. We must educate our youth on the importance of saving, investing, and budgeting money, some of the basic fundamentals of a successful adulthood. Thank you.